ki khubor ka Batisi TV lawan rashapi da ka Orange Nissan Loomso po near Fire Brigade Shillong.
Admissions are open at BDW International School. Enroll now.
Ka public hearing lani ka bishar pajba halor ka Jingïarap Pisa jong ka Sorkar Meghalaya yakinong tray belas ngi ki bala syakta na ka Jinglynshop jong ka klam jingpang COVID-19 hapo kani ka jela lalap bakidang duna belai ki bampat yo Jingïarap Pisa AA wat tang sinayaru kumbala kular da ka Sorkar jela. Ban pensisha yakani ka seng kinong tray ying breu ya kabala tip kerteng kum ka domestic workers movement ka seng kinong di madan ka MGSP HSVA katma urang li juki harangkat ka jinge trailang bat ka Social Accountability Forum for Action and Research kilalum lang yaki Nongbylla ngi hagani ka jing bishar pajba kabalalong habianchi hall jong ka Cathedral Parish halaj khra khnang banyo sngo na ka shentur jong kini ki Nongbylla ayu ki mat bat ki shem halor kani ka jingkular ban a Jingïarap da ka Sorkar jilla lingba ka Chief Minister's Relief Against Wage Loss kabalong 8,000 shispa tingka bat 1,000 tingka na kabenta ki babela misteri bat ki bala penrung kerteng yaladi ha ka BOCW. Khnang bagani ka jing bishar pajba kan long ka bakhut klem da don ka jingya sha liang kinong penyat kila khot sakhi lang da justice madan je lokur unong bishar bala song thait jong ka yeng bishar Supreme Court of India u ambassador barim jong ka ri India uba Rudy Warjri kinong mi ikman na ka social development consultant Meghalaya Society for Social Audit and Transparency but kiway
many numbers which are not correct. And simply they mentioned the 444 or 111. So all those data, invalid data, we just scrutinize and then we set up a website in local language, Khasi and Garo, and there are the 4 options where users can also put their name, they can mention their mobile number, and accordingly their names and all the details will appear there, and they can verify if they have received full amount, if they have received the partial amount, and they can also, if they want to register a complaint, they can also file a grievances. So this was on website, and similarly we have also set up IVR calls, IVR platform where in both the languages, Khasi and Garo. And so in Khasi and Garo there are 2 options. If you are crawl workers, then select one, and then if you are a BOCW worker, then select 2. And then accordingly you can verify the amount you have received, like 5,000 or 2,100 rupees. So there are also 4 options. Like if you have received full amount, then press 1. If you have received the partial amount, press 2. And if you have not received any amount, then press 3. And then there is the second questions. If you want to register a grievance now, you can press 1. And if you don't want to register, then press 2. So that kind of, then we have received more than 12,000, around 12,000 responses from this IVR calls, which are also mapped with the website calls, and all these data were mapped, and we found that there are the number of people who have not received or that they have received the partial amount of money, and accordingly all these details report submitted to the concerned department.
As a request, we we have to complete the concerned request by day end, and whatever names, account numbers, IFSC code and amount cannot be altered by us, and whatever that is given in the request has to be carried out by day end. So if wrong account numbers or wrong IFSC codes were given to us, we cannot check from our end. What we do is, if the payment gets reverted back, it goes back to the parent account and it goes back to the concerned department's account. So from the bank's side, there is no pendency on any payment as such.
Get
the benefit that they are entitled to has remained a mystery. And it has remained a mystery because of two reasons. One is that unfortunately there was no participation by the government. A lot of things could have been clarified. For example, somebody gets one payment but does not get a second payment. Why does that second payment not come? We don't know. Government could have clarified that. There are people who got no payment, but why didn't they get it? You know, what is it that has gone wrong? The HDFC Bank came, they explained to us to some extent what could possibly have gone wrong. But having known what has gone wrong, the question is how do you rectify that? You know something has gone wrong, but then what do you do about it? And there again, if the government had come, some solution could have been found. So I think one thing that must be said is that in public hearings of this nature, government participation is very, very important. It's not adversarial in the sense that it is not somebody is trying to abuse the government. It is that somebody is entitled to a particular benefit and they have not been able to get this benefit. So the government has come out with a scheme to help them. So I think it is an obligation of the government to explain why these persons have not got the benefit which the government wanted to give. So that is very important for the government to participate in these kind of public hearings. That is number one. The second thing that I would like to say is that there is, from what we heard from all the beneficiaries, there is a huge amount of disconnect. There is no dialogue between the government and the beneficiaries, between the government and the NGOs who are helping the beneficiaries. So, where does the beneficiary go if the beneficiary does not get the benefit under a scheme announced by the government? There does not seem to be any grievance redressal mechanism. So some of them did go. In fact, most of them went to the government to find out why have I not got the money. The government said you go to the bank. They went to the bank said you go to the government. So are they going to go back and forth, without an answer? So there is no dialogue that has taken place. There is no discussion that has taken place, with the result that grievance redressal was just not possible. And that is why this public hearing was held, to understand what are the problems, so that some sort of grievance redressal mechanism can be arrived at. That is the second thing that I would like to point out. The third is the seriousness, of the problem. The government realized that there is a serious problem, and that is why they announced a scheme. And because of COVID, people were without employment, people were unable to get jobs, get work, daily wages and so on, construction workers, hawkers. So if there is some seriousness behind the scheme, then the implementation of that scheme must also be serious. Not that, I have announced a scheme, what happens to the scheme? The scheme can fail, so what if it fails? That can't be the attitude. If the idea is to help the people who are in distress, then the government has to make sure that the people who they want to help actually do get the help. Technology is available, and technology would have, if properly used in this case, would have made a huge difference. Unfortunately, there are some gaps in the technology or use of the technology. But I'm sure if there is some introspection, there is some discussion with persons who are in the field, persons who are in the ground, persons who are beneficiaries, persons who represent the beneficiaries. Any scheme, not only this scheme that we dealt with today, but any scheme will be a success. And if it is a success, it's good for the people of the state. I think that realization must come through.
Tasi long kan ni besar pak ba halor ke jingkular ke Sorkar mensim senam ban ai ke jingkersan ki Nongbylla sni ki hajar sispa bat san hajar ki tu ki badon ke tu ka BUCWD ki la register pa kuma kitip ngila bodin ni kan ni naduk mensim senam ngila tho shak Sorkar ba ka don ka jing thot ki bun ki bakam yo wat la kami ka keteng jong ki pat kapan pau baki la ayok tak Pisa hadin mengifile ka ati airu ni yo ka list silak pam ki breu ki bla ayok nang tu ni ong i pat ba hi ban pet tada ki lap ka kuteng joki bat hato ki yo sishan em kata ka Pisa bat bun na ki hakato ka por balawan ban sa second wave ka tu ka lockdown ki respond ki pha changi ki SMS ki phone number ban batai sai baki kam yo pakum ne kam tai sa si sian ni tho bang sa Sorkar ni pen pau kita ki jing handai ka Sorkar kha hamle ai ba ka pen poy ngi sa ka tu ka put pengi hak song dharna ro ka por bat hadin ba song dharna ka labor department ka khat ekran ba ka kular bakan persang man pen bek ni la ai por handai ngi tip ba hadu mentar ki dang don ki ba ham pat yo tu ka Pisa Sementara bakal alat pertai kemne ni ong bakal kalong ka eke ke bah kongsan kebetulan kami ki beri ban pen semua laki so kalor kani ban wan ban ai sakhi kalor kani ka skim bat kani ka public hearing kadi kata ka Jinglynshop jo ki pat ba kalor kani ka skim bat menta ka sngi kumbasis pa khandai phau tam ki beri ki wan bat ni yo sim ka tu ka ne ki ta ki testimony ki jong ki bat ka panel ka badon hang ni ban sngap yaki mendai mangi na mangim kwa ke beri ban ong sha aliang kadi ka independent panel ka bakhli di justice lokur ibadai ibala song that na ka yeng bisar bakhli tam hari India ka Supreme Court lang bat iba Rudi Wajri lang bat i kong IT bat i pastor pertu bat kia ngap bat i nikhil diru ibadai na ka MTSS bat kia yo ban yo sngohi dala ki skor la jong bat ban bo jingkeliru ya kitu ki beri ki bawan ban pan naki kita ki passbook ban pensisa atau ka poi sisa ka Pisa na em ban pek ka kerteng jong ki ka biang na em bat ki beri ki da wan lam kita ki documents bat hang ni kal apau ba kadon sisa kata ka jing ko bat ba kadang bun kata ka aka ba ka Sorkar kam pat la pen bet andai ka bas ngusi kalong ba hakum kini ki jing Pisa ka jing sisa ngila invite ya ka labor department ro ngila invite ya ka office of the chief secretary ro kadi ka kamram jong ki jing sisa bandon hakum kani ka jing yalang naman makir ngi dan hok pan ay ki ka hok bakin ay ka juba nyemdei ban su bisar klam da yo ka juba na ki handai maki pa de ki klamshim khai kani ka kam haka jing sisa ki de ki public servants na kita ki nong trei ki babe Pisa mangi ki pat ba kadi ka kamram jong ki ban wan ban ai juba halor ki ni ki handai ki re te kapau baki de ki breu ki bam pen snap ya kanika sensar kadar nek ta ka demokrasi amar haka demokrasi kadi ka kamram jong kitu ki ba be Pisa ki pat ba ya ki bikin trei ka tu ka kam ya ki nong mikmat ru bakin pet bakayat bet ki sudan bok pade baki banks ki bangi invite ki wei na ki wan baki ki la ai nakaliang jong ki ka jing pensai pale si kumnu kata ka Pisa naka Sorkar ka poi seki ta makasakut no bat katu ka jing wan jong ki ka pen pau baki kim don ban bu re bat bakir ki kwa bakan ya bet ke tingi ni khmi lenti ba wat la da ki kham wan man ta ka sngiro ka labor department kan ai jing pensai ngakan tu pi ki journalist ru ban le peli bia you principal secretary jong ka labor bat iki wei ki bekit kam halor kani namar ba shisnam shiteng ban sa teng ikam kum ini tak pau biet mak kade ka hok jing pat ba bat kane ka jing set jong kane ka Pisa kalong kum bayu rat iki hok jong ki bat kane kade ka public hearing ka mana kane ka bentar jong kane ka covid relief handai ka jing sisa mangi ki pat ba ngi de bandon khari kum kini ki jing Pisa namar ba ki bun ba ki skim ko wan sa menglaya bat bun sin ki shuja rangai namar umdan kata ka flow of information ngim tip sisa ka de na benta jong nu ham nu lan nu kan sedang lan nu kan kut manu ba yo kat nu la be Pisa kat nu la lut kat nu rangsa te ngidei banya bot din menyebut ini kan ni. Dan ilek komta, naki snong, naki kentai, naki seng samlah. Ngat yang Pak ini jelas jengi berit haduo, ngilak ban penkelah dur ya kan ni jelas. Ka kepada ban poi hok ya iwei kita ilai pulak ngut nyadon kan ni jelas. Ngilak ban penkelai ke jing em aja. Mereka kamram sedang nangi bangin buat din bangin pressurize ya kan ni Sorkar. Baka day ban tray bet tray renti ya berok kiski. Ningkong naduk bas dang hi kala adon ke jing thut. Hapor baka Sorkar ka announce ya kan ni kaski. Ka jing sisa ka klam batai sha ka nuru. Kadai hadin bangi wat ka RTI ngisyu asngoling ba ka press ki make announcement bahana kin news pa man utayo. Kat nu tayo kan batai. Ka susange an tu arspa arhajar shispa. Bat ngiyo i baksange arhajar shispa ngiyo ka RTI. Kata ka BOCW ru ngitip baka ailing baka BOCW hadin ngiyo i ka RTI baka don kata ka amount san hajar. Tinabas dang hi ka don ka jing thot. Klamdan ka planning, klamdan ka thought. But kata ka jing kwa sisyaban pun poya ka ni ka jing kersan ka Jingïarap supaya ba klamdan. Namar lada ka don sisya kata ka jing temu ka basa. Hadin baki yo ka jing ujoh nakipat ba. Wut ki nombor ki dan tu phone ki. Lada ki mudur ba. Kata ka phone number jong ki ka bakla. Au ka account number phone. Keli pet namar le kata ka jing bakla kam dai naki brio ki ba apply. Namar bon naki le ki xerox tu ki ya ka passbook. Le tu data entry operator bakla. Ki phila la ban pendai ka ayu. Hendrai khamdan kata kaman man binbai. Bat le kalau ada ka kontrai kam. Ka balong kum ni hakibi liang ru kala aslong ke Jinglyn. Ba hang ni ru ngin le bet. La dep announce penhun ni pai ba kum tu. Ngam babut din ka susah be ha sernium ta. Haba ki ong bakil amang kata. Hakasin meningkong le penmi itai sanfu akro. Apor punya keren bak Sorkar ko ong lai pulai kro la ada as kibai. Tinggi ong lada pila amang kata himang itu ki kerteng ki badan hantu bapila tho bapila ai kata kadai ban poi saki kam dai ban jaranga wei badan hatu ka list hispa arhusan hajar not ki ban yo tik kum ki ban yo bat nang ni sahmat kanu ko baka announce ka Sorkar lada ki break ki apply lada ki dai hok ban yo. At least kadai bandon kata kajing pak biang i kenja notice ba ngimla aya pi ne pim don hok pan yo kibri bila hun te amde ba kilet khrong ne kilet bu de ne ka ek bam de ka banta jang ki ti nang ne sakmat kar kom tre kam ka ban be nadu ba announce ka scheme hadu ba pi de ban ai ka acknowledgement ha ba kibri ki apply kibade ban yo ong ki sayo hakata kapwa bamde ban yo grand size ki bukinde ban yo namar ba shushu na kita ki silak arfusan hajar tam ke bami kerteng ki bun shu ki ba apply kibade hop kita ki Nongbylla ni mereka khami kata ka kerteng joki tiki ki sa dum bet balai hakanong rim ayung ni sa kantai kamde gen mentre kampung ni tingi tingin bud den bet hadu ba at least kitu ki badan hatu kan list ki dei ban